Sunday morning. I hope you all are having a great Sunday. I hope you're enjoying your breakfast or maybe an early lunch, a brunch even, and your coffee. Right now we are joined with the folks from Habitat for Humanity. We are joined with Jose Aleman, you are the board chairman, and Wayne Lowry, you are the executive director. Thank you so much for coming in.
So good to be here. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Yes, thank you so much. So Habitat for Humanity, I think a lot of people have heard about it. Maybe they're not sure exactly what it is and what you all do.
Sure. Well, we believe at Habitat for Humanity that everyone, no matter where you're from or who you are, deserves a decent life. We believe that everybody deserves strength and stability to make their life better, and everybody deserves the power to know that they have that to be able to build their futures. And that's what unites us at Habitat for Humanity. And that's, we believe that it's through shelter that we empower. And since 1988, we've actually helped over 130 families with homes that we've helped throughout the Rio Grande Valley, and of course with plans of expansion. But I think that's what's unique about us, that we have that in our vision to help our community.
Most definitely. And this comes at, so when you think of Habitat for Humanity, it's something that these folks need. It's a place, a home, something for them. And this comes at no cost to these families, is that correct?
Well, there is a cost.
Okay.
And so just like our philosophy is everyone deserves a decent place to live, but we also believe that we offer a hand up and not a handout. We want to work with hardworking families that are doing everything they can to get in their own home, but just simply need a little boost. And so what we do is we partner with these families to give them an affordable mortgage, so it's at 0% interest, and so it's based on what they are able to pay. And that helps us to recapture those funds to build the next house. So the beauty of our program is none of the cash donations that come in to build a new house go to our overhead or our administrative costs. They go directly to the house. And then the mortgages that are paid by the homeowners, those are paid forward. That's what we use to buy land. That's how we help the next round of families. So in a sense, what we tell people is you are going to contribute financially, but it's going to go to help the next family. And each family also is required to put in sweat equity, over 300 hours of work on their own home. So we have our team out there, we have a bunch of volunteers, and if you've ever been to a volunteer site, you know we may have 30 people out there and the family's in the middle of it all. They're raising the walls, they're painting the doors, they're doing everything because that's going to be their home.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think it makes it that much more worthwhile too, knowing that, you know, I put the nail in this board here, and I painted this door, and I put this window in here, and kind of seeing it firsthand that I was able to build this up, of course, with the community and all the people helping. But that's really amazing that they are paying it forward, like you mentioned. They're helping another family or multiple families that were in their same kind of position.
Well, and it builds a sense of pride, and the good kind of pride, you know, where you know this is something that I own. It's ownership, that dignity of going, I have my own home. I worked for it, I've sweated for it, and I'm paying for it. But at the end, I'm going to have a home that I can pass on to my kids, so it can help our future generations have that stability. And so we're really grateful for the great partners that help us make this happen.
Yeah, of course.
And a great thing too, that with the volunteers when they're there, we give them the opportunity as well. You know how the structure is just the frame. They also have that opportunity to write well wishes on there as well. Maybe a blessing or a prayer. So that way that is instilled into the frame of the home, because you know that's important. So it allows that opportunity for the volunteers to be able to do that. And one thing that Wayne mentioned, I want to make sure that we say it again, it's a hand up, not a hand out. And that's one of the questions that we receive often, especially when we're out in the community, is, you know, is this a free program? Who does it help? We want to make that very clear. It's a hand up, not a hand out situation.
And we're looking for people for our new construction program that demonstrate a high need. You know, so these are low-income families that have demonstrated a great need. For instance, today, we're in discussion with approving a family that's a military family. He served in Iraq. He's suffering from cancer right now. He's getting treatments at MD Anderson. He has served the community as an EMT. I mean, this is the kind of people that you root for, people you want to get behind. And so we're going to hopefully soon be able to announce that this family's been approved, and we will start breaking ground on their home in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh! Well, definitely hope that that does get approved,
Yes.
and that is something that does happen in the couple weeks to come. And now, how do these families kind of get linked up? Is it applications? I know there are applications that you can put in, or is it a referral basis maybe?
So we get referrals from other
Okay.
organizations.
Okay.
We get people that walk into our stores. We have 2 locations, one in McAllen, one in Harlingen. That's our restore operation. It's and also our offices there. They go in, they pick up an application, they can fill it out there, or they can fill it out from the comfort of their own home. They can go online to our website, fill out the online application, and then it tells you what other information they've got to bring in for a face-to-face appointment.
Perfect. Now I know you guys have a lot of divisions over at Habitat for Humanity. You know, you of course you mentioned the store, and you have your disaster relief
Yes.
branch that you just started after
Right.
Hurricane Harvey.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about kind of what you all do in different aspects with Habitat for Humanity.
So, you know, a lot of people do think of Habitat as, you know, raising the walls,
Right.
new construction,
Right.
Jimmy Carter, you know, some of those things. Well, what people don't know is that we do have a wide range of programs to help different groups of people. So our first kind of expansion out of new home construction was our Aging in Place program,
Okay.
where to date we've done over 100 home modifications for seniors, built ramps, done bathroom modifications so that seniors can stay in their home an additional 5 years. That's our targeted goal. So we've done that for the last 2 years, started that program. Last year, in response to Hurricane Harvey, of course, we launched our Helping Hand disaster relief program. And with that, we deliver aid to other regions that have needs, as well as do home modifications, furniture replacements, critical home repair efforts here locally in the RGV.
Right.
So, and you know, it's just one of the many ways we can kind of give back to the community that's done so much for us.
Of course.
And it goes back to what our vision is empowerment through shelter. So like you mentioned, building the ramps for maybe for families who need that, that's empowering them by having that ramp that
Of
maybe they don't
course.
need a whole new structure of a home. They just
Exactly.
need something small that can empower them. So it's things like that that we really believe will help our community.
No, most definitely. It sounds great. You guys are definitely helping. And of course, with this disaster relief, a Helping Hand disaster relief program that you have, we have come in partnership with you, especially after these historic floods that we had
Yes.
this last month, which has just been so devastating to see something like that happen right in our own backyards.
Exactly.
So we are going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about more of that program and how you all can help, and kind of talk about, you know, what's going to come for the future.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming in. All right, folks, we will be right back after this short break.
When people walk in through the doors of Clark Knapp Honda, they should expect great customer service, great one-on-one relationship with our salesmen, and attention to detail.
The best thing about Clark Knapp Honda is we always do the right thing for our customers, our staff, and our community.
Clark Knapp Honda, simply better.
I didn't want contacts to keep me from my passion.
Subpar vision took the joy out of golf.
Glasses were not an option for me.
I chose Dr. Pena.
I chose Dr. Pena.
I chose Dr. Pena.
We treat you like family because we treat family.
When people walk in through the doors of Clark Knapp Honda, they should expect great customer service, great one-on-one relationship with our salesmen, and attention to detail.
The best thing about Clark Knapp Honda is we always do the right thing for our customers, our staff, and our community.
Clark Knapp Honda, simply better.
Welcome back, folks, and thank you for sticking with us on this Sunday morning. I hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. Now, right before the break, we were talking about Habitat for Humanity and all the ways you can help and how they help the community and give back. Now, right now, we are joined with our very own Carolina Cruz. You are a news reporter here with us. And we have Wayne Lowry again, the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity. Thank you both. Now, we were talking about last month's historic floods that we had and the devastation that it caused, and a little bit about this disaster disaster relief program that Habitat Humanity does have?
So here locally, how we're trying to respond to this flood, as well as any other future devastating events that may occur, is to be prepared to do home repairs, critical home repairs, such as replacing sheetrock that have been that's been damaged by the flood, replacing flooring, you know, the insulation that might have soaked up some of the water. We're trying to make as much of an impact in those areas with flood victims as possible. Basically, as many dollars as raised are going to go right back into the community in those ways.
Most definitely. Now, Carolina, you were out there in the middle of all the flooding that had happened. I know a lot of our reporters had trouble even getting into the station that day. So kind of tell us a little bit about what you saw firsthand, you know, all these families kind of going through.
Yeah, I mean, even for me that morning, I started driving my car out of my neighborhood, and I started hearing the water underneath my vehicle, and I'm like, I can't do this. So they had to come pick me up. But yeah, some of the stories that I did, when in McAllen, that neighborhood, there was no way we were going to make it through. It was like a half-mile journey to get to where we needed to go, so we had to ditch our gear. We couldn't take our vehicle. Everything, all our entire story was done on our phone. I mean, we had waders. Water was waist deep. These families, a lot of them were just having to basically abandon their homes and hope for the best and see how much damage there was afterwards. And I think that the situation here worsened just because I feel like a lot of families did not prepare.
Right.
And so I think maybe if they would have had a little bit of preparation, whether it be sandbags to allow the water to not come into their homes, that would have helped. But I mean, whether it was McAllen or even here in the Mid-Valley in Weslaco, it was the same story, you know, families saying we saw the water kind of coming to the driveway, coming to the door, and then those initial inches of water that started coming into our actual home and the water rising, and trying to get as many of their belongings as high as they could. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these families not only experienced that home damage and loss of their belongings, but so many vehicles that we saw on the road that were also gone. And so a lot of these families are having to not only pay for these repairs, but also figure out how they're gonna get a vehicle to get around.
Exactly. And now this was all as the flooding was happening, but again, after the water receded, and it was kind of, you were left with these now what questions. And so I'm sure you returned to a lot of those neighborhoods after the flooding when people were returning to their homes. And what were some of the things, or the most common question that folks kind of asked you as into what now, what can you do, or where do I go?
Yeah, I mean, I think even if these families had insurance, they just didn't know how to go about documenting the damage. Who do I contact? You know, will the Red Cross help me? For how long will they help me? So I think it's just the question of who do I contact? How do I document this damage? And how do I ensure that I'm getting the most help that I'm eligible for at this moment?
Right, most definitely.
One of the things that we see in these events is there's a lot of attention for the first few weeks.
Right.
You know, and then after that, a lot of organizations move on to other tragedies or other disasters, and it's just a matter of resources and being spread thin. What we pride ourselves in with Habitat for Humanity is we're here for the long haul.
Right.
We're here for the rebuilding efforts. So although we do try to respond to the best of our ability in the immediate need, it's a long-term rebuilding where we really shine, and that's where this partnership is so important to us, to generate the funds that we need to go back into some of these neighborhoods. Yes, some people have flood insurance, but a lot of people don't, especially low-income families that are sitting here going, I can't spend an extra $350 a year on flood insurance. So we're evaluating those families that have that desperate need and seeing where we can lend a hand. Maybe it's a $2,000 or $3,000 gut job where we can just replace the sheetrock and insulation and just kind of give them a boost. Some, even renters, you know, may have lost all their possessions.
Right.
And we may not be able to go into that rental house and fix the damage, but we can provide couches. You know, we have access to furniture that we can donate to those families. So really, at this time, we need funds, but we also need people to apply, to let us know what they need, so that we can try to help them the best we can.
Definitely.
And we've heard stories of families who did not have that flood insurance and have no other means of, say, stay at a hotel and maybe they can't get to the shelter, don't know where these shelters are, and so they're living amongst that mold and all whatever bacteria, because we know that like in Mercedes, they were giving warning of don't go into this water because it is toxic, basically. So a lot of these families are still living inside these homes and they're being exposed to these conditions.
Exactly.
It's a great health concern. It's a great health concern because living in those conditions, especially if you have children who have asthma, they have other health, already, it just makes regular health problems so much worse when you're surrounded with all those chemicals in the air.
Which is why we are definitely doing this partnership with Lone Star National Bank, Gonzalez Furniture, and Payne Auto Group, who each of our sponsors have donated $10,000 each, which is amazing. And now that's why we need the public to come on out at any one of our KRGV locations in Weslaco, McAllen, or Brownsville. You can also donate at any Lone Star National Bank, cash or check, just monetary donations, and make it out to Habitat for Humanity, RGV, with a notation, a helping hand. That is exactly what you all need right now, is that monetary donations to kind of help go in, look at these homes, evaluate them, find out what they need, see if you can help, and kind of put that money to use in that sense. But of course, you said as well, we need applicants to apply.
Right.
So where can people go to do that?
So to apply, go to habitatrgv.org.
Okay.
Go to our website. There's the online application in English and in Spanish. Make sure you're going to the right tab. Don't apply for a new home right now. Go to the Helping Hand Disaster Relief. Apply there for the critical repairs. That way we can pull the applications and start doing our home visits, which we started yesterday. We've already started doing those evaluations so that we can make it a quick turnaround time once the funds are here.
Most definitely. And of course, you mentioned it, Wayne, that you won't stop unless the funds stop. You're going to keep going until the money runs out. So of course, folks, if you can help, please donate. It's much needed. We will be doing this through Wednesday. So again, any KRGV location, any Lone Star National Bank. Thank you.
Online.
And online, of course, you can donate online. Just head on over to krgv.com if you want to donate from the comfort of your own home. I want to thank you both so much for coming in today and kind of chatting with us a little bit about this.
Of course.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, folks, thank you so much for tuning in this Sunday morning. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next Sunday.